This is 4-1. We've sighted a second Overlord touching down. We have heavy casualties, enemy units still moving in on the palace. Please advise.
Hold your position, 4-1. We're mobilizing palace defenses, but we need time to evacuate the royal family.
Roger, Command. We'll do our best. Who the hell are they?
Alert! The palace is under attack. All units, man your stations. MechWarrior, you are cleared to mobilize and engage at them. Gunnery crew, you are authorized to fire at incoming hostiles. Area, back palace personnel to Valley Point Echo immediately.
We've got at least 4 lenses up the wall. Support units. Looks mostly like LRM launches.
Sigma Lead, this is Sigma 2. Any idea what we're up against?
Well-equipped strike forces. Probably the 5th Donegal.
That's my old unit. Why would our own forces attack us?
It was inevitable. Everything has changed. Sigma Lance, form up on my lead. Central Guard is Sigma Lance leader. We're moving out.
We have the royal family aboard. We can't lift off until those SAM launchers are taken out.
Incoming LRMs, get clear. Look out! Get out of the hangar!
Get a track on those damn launchers.
I got track!
Take them out!
Impact!
Nice shot, Sig 2. All right, on my mark. We break off and head for the central courtyard.
We'll fall back and try to regroup.
Incoming!
Activate AMS!
Sir! I got missiles
Eject!
coming in at
Eject!
opposition right now! Oh my...
Sig 2, this is Lance leader. Do you read? Kentares, can you hear me? Central Guard is Sigma leader. What's your status? Command, this is Sigma leader. I've lost contact with Central Guard. Any receiving unit. I have contact with main enemy force inside Central Courtyard. I'll delay them here as long as I can.
My son, I wish these did not have to be my final words to you. I must try to make up for years and only a few minutes while this message can still be sent. I've often regretted the words that I spoke when I sent you away. I don't want them to be the last that you hear from me. I was acting as a duke, not a father. I feared you'd bring dishonor to the family name. I was wrong. You may have thought yourself forgotten, but you've never been far from my thoughts. I've followed your deeds in the clan wars. You have done nothing but bring honor to your name and made me proud to be your father. If you could find it within yourself to forgive me, I'd hope to ask you to return home. Now there's no time, because I stood against Katrina Steiner when she betrayed her promises and seize control of the Commonwealth. Our world is to be made an example to the Dukes who stood with me in resisting her. They're seizing Kentares. They've sent a strike force. It's only a matter of time before they breach the castle defenses. Your brothers, your sister. By the time you get this, I'm sure that we'll all be dead. Stay away from Kentares, Ian. Your Uncle Peter commands in the 4th Davian Guard off the planet. As long as he takes no action against her, Katrina won't risk moving against him. Go to him. Live on, and bear our name proudly. My son, I have always loved you, and I am very, very proud of the man that you have become. Goodbye.
Did you find the bodies? Do we know for certain they're all dead?
Steiner executed everyone at the castle who survived the initial attack. We don't know where they're buried. We don't believe anyone escaped. I know what you must be feeling, Ian. But your father's wishes were always for honor and justice, never for revenge.
Justice? My family's been killed, Peter. All but you. Whoever killed them deserves to be dead too.
But we've more important tasks first. We have to break Steiner's grip on Kentares 4, then remove your cousin William from the throne and restore legal rule.
William.
He's only a puppet, Ian. Steiner controls your homeworld. Our forces are small, but if we show the people they can fight back, I know they'll join with us and free Kentares. So, if you're your father's son, you'll get suited up. Our first strike must be now, before they discover we're here.
Welcome back. We are finally there. We are going to be running all 3 components of the MechWarrior 4 game. Starting right here with the first mission. There will be a little bit of a thing coming up here. Where I goofed up my controls and had to fix it. But other than that, pretty smooth.
Except each other, that is. Yes, except each other. Ian, your lance mate on this mission is Casey Knowles. You'll learn to ignore him. The rest of us do. Casey, the Shadowcat to your right is my nephew, and your future Duke. Try to show him more respect than you do me. Don't think that will be a problem, sir. Those towers are the communication relays. We better take them out first. It may take heavier weapons to bring them down. Let's move out. Throttle full, weapons online.
So if you watched my HBS Battletech playthrough, oh, I did go through, skip over that, I think. Okay, actually, I think it's the next one. Never mind. But anyway, if you watched my HBS Battletech playthrough, you notice right off the bat very different mechs, weapons up there that you can see in the corner, quite different from what you're used to from that. The setting of this game is almost 40 years after that game in the same universe, obviously. But by this point, much lost tech has been recovered. The clans have invaded. A lot has changed in the Inner Sphere. So many new battle mech designs, many newer, more powerful or more efficient weapons are now invented or rediscovered. As you'll see going forward in this, a lot of clan stuff. So I'll get into all that as we get into it. Right now what I'm driving is a Shadowcat clan medium mech. My 2 lance mates are riding Cougars, which are a clan light mech. Very good mechs. I'm not a big fan of the clan stuff, but in this game it's your best bet, so you'll see me running quite a bit of it. Clan mechs in this game have the bonus of being omni-mechs. The way the MechLab is set up in this, instead of being able to put anything anywhere as you should be, because they ran into a problem with the online play for MechWarrior 3. MechWarrior 2 has slots for weapon classes, like on the one you'll see coming up, the next one I run, which will be an inner sphere medium mech, because I had no choice in this one. It has, what do you want to call it, beam only slots in the arms, ballistic only in the torso, side torsos, and a missile only in the center torso. So the mech builds in this one, even some of the cannon builds from the game, you cannot run in this because they don't work with the slot setup. So it's a little different. But it's still a very good game. This came out originally in about 1999 to about 2001 for the add-ons that I'll be playing afterwards. I'm going to play them in order. These are semi-canon. This campaign on this planet, what you saw in the lead into it, the characters and everything else, are canon. However, some of the events of this game go against what is canon from the source books. So I will be getting into that a little bit as it gets to that point of the game. But Dookie and Dresari was overthrown and murdered, unlike what you see at the beginning of this was actually a 3-day long battle to take the throne world, or the world here, and depose him and kill his family. This makes it look like it was just a sudden, massive blitzkrieg assault that was over in a matter of minutes. According to the source books, it was several days of hard fighting. That's the first place this varies, but I can see, as I set this up, you see at the beginning, with how I'm running these, I could see it being, simplified and condensed for a historical archive.
They won't know it right away. With communications cut, we'll be able to move in secrecy for a while. From here on, I want you to take a command role with the team. They need to start seeing you as their leader. So I'd like you to determine our next mission and get us set up. I've uploaded our TAC officer's operational overview. It's simple enough. Steiner only left a few dropships behind, and all but one are hangared here on the moon, where it's safe. Before we hit Dirtside, we'll need to destroy the dropships to cripple the mobility of Steiner's defensive forces. We also have to raid additional supplies from some of the remaining lunar facilities. They're undefended. The only threat to those raids are Steiner mobile artillery units. They'll have to be neutralized before we can start our raiding operations.
All right.
I've asked Carl Sontag, our technical officer, to configure mechs for the missions. Now, Carl's a good man, and one hell of an engineer. Your father used to say, give Carl 100 tons of steel wool, and he'll knit you an Atlas overnight. Change the loadouts if you want to, but I doubt you'll improve on his choices. We're all waiting for your orders, Ian. I know you're up to the challenge.
Yes?
Good news. Tactical just informed me that the techs have pulled Steiner encryption codes out of the mess we left behind at the comm facility. We'll be able to intercept enemy communications. Well, some of them, anyway. We should also be able to locate other pockets of resistance. We should start getting some useful information in the next few hours. I'll keep you updated.
Hello, Carl. It's been a long time.
I didn't know if you'd remember me. I served your father for a long time, but the last time I saw you, you were a boy. Duke Eric was a fine man and a great leader. We will miss him. I will miss him. He would have wanted better for you, but I'll give you the best I can. I've modified our mechs by stripping out some of the heat sinks. The heat dissipation in this environment is so efficient, they'd just be erased. You won't need much speed for these missions, so I've added extra armor, just in case. Not much weaponry to choose from yet, but that will change soon enough. Bring in any good weapons or material as salvage, and I will keep you ready to fight. I kept your father's mechs in shape for him. I'll do the same for you, young Dresari.
So as you can see, I'm going to try not to talk over the video portions of this, only talk during the campaigns or explain something where needed. This one, as you see the name, this is an Uziel. This is a new inner sphere medium mech. always leave the mechs that I'm not running with all the weapons stripped off them in case I need something for a mech that I am running. So get to put some clan weapons on this one, which are usually harder hitting and lighter. So save some weight. Do a little modification to the mech. See what I mean about the slots. You'll also notice in the opening video what you saw the mechs firing. They are not capable of carrying in the game, which is rather annoying. You can't even duplicate that. So. And I goof up here with how this is what I said, there's something coming up where I gotta fix it. It was this mission. I goof up the assignment of the weapon groups here to do the firing. So I have to get in the mission and set the buttons differently. That's all that is. It goes so relatively quick. Plus it shows a little bit of the interface of this game, so I left it in there. I loved this game when it came out. I have not played it in 20 years, probably, so.
This is Omega Control. Omega Support, stand by at position. Omega Launch. The mobile launchers you need to neutralize should be somewhere in the ravine. You may encounter them at any point along your sweep pattern, so maintain active radar and move to nav point Alpha. Sweep and destroy any units you encounter in the ravine.
Roger, Control. Moving to nav point Alpha.
Roger, Control. Radar active. Display set to maximum range. We'll run the pattern and ice anything we find.
Good luck.
Thanks, Major. Lieutenant Dresari, let's do it.
Roger that, Omega 2.
It's Gonzalez, sir.
Roger that. Gonzalez.
Sensors online. Weapons systems online. All functioning systems nominal.
That was doing a quick test fire of my weapons to make sure I got them slaved properly before I get to battle and realize I don't, so go in and fix them real quick here. As this goes, I'm going to go with the canon ending of this game, which is not the best way to run it. However, I want to keep it accurate to the lore, so that's how I'm going to go. Also, you'll notice I don't do real good starting out here. I got to get used to it over again. I'm running a joystick to do this, not a mouse. I have not run a game like this with a joystick in quite a while, so it throws me off. I do eventually get used to it. You'll also notice I run through these pretty damn quick. Reason being, with my recording software and trying to get one that actually worked right with this game, I have run this first part of the campaign. Probably, I think I'm on my 12th run through it at this point, trying to get it to record properly. So at this point, it's just I want to get it done as quick as I can, and I just breeze right through them. When I get to the second part of the campaign, I will be recording that out from there on as I'm playing it for the first time. So you'll see me having to figure it out a little bit more. I have on, I think, my 5th program before I finally found one that would record this properly. I had all kinds of issues. Fraps won't record this game. It records black screen with the sound. Several others I tried that I won't name because other people I know use them and like them. They just didn't work with this game. Either didn't record it properly, extremely glitchy, or when I opened the program, it would start recording, and as soon as I tried to open the game, it would stop recording and not record and have all kinds of issues. So it took me quite a while to find one that will run this. If you're not familiar with the BattleTech universe, what is going on with this campaign is, as I mentioned in the HBS playthrough, in the late 3020s into the 3030s, the royal houses of the Federated Sons and the Lyran Commonwealth intermarry, create House Davion, or Steiner Davion, and combine into the Federated Commonwealth. Their children, however, the eldest, Prince Victor Steiner Davion, is a soldier. He's gone to war, he's off fighting, he's busy. The second youngest child, Katrina Steiner Davion, is an interesting character. Worms her way into taking the archonship of what she dubs the Lyran Alliance, and breaks away, and then while he's off fighting, politically maneuvers. I won't get into the whole thing, there's murder and everything else involved, but politically maneuvers to take over the entire Federated Commonwealth and uses the Steiner Lyran forces to attack Davion Fed Sons loyalists, and starts a massive civil war, and that's what this is set in, is the FedCom civil war. As you could see by the way this was set up at the start, making it very clear, this campaign you are on the side of and fighting in support of the supporters of Prince Victor, for the Fed Sons side of this. I'm not going to get into the convoluted politics. I just don't have the time. But yeah, we're on one side of a massive interstellar civil war right now. This campaign and the one after it, by campaign I mean the overall game in this case, both this and the expansion pack I'll be playing after it are both set on one planet, on Kentares 4. In this first one, you are playing as Ian Dresari, as you saw in the introduction, the only surviving, you think, member of this house, trying to fight off the invaders, reclaim your throne, and bring the planet back under control for these Davion loyalists. The second part, the expansion we will be doing, you play as a mercenary unit in the employ of House Steiner, trying to overthrow him. So it's all contained onto one. The third part that I will be doing uses the same engine, is set in the same time period, but is, for all intents and purposes, a standalone separate game. So I'll cover that one differently when I get to it.
Roger, Omega 1. Good work. Return to base. Omega support begins salvage operations. See if there's any ammo to
Sorry,
recover.
my cigar went out.
Carl can use anything we can possibly
Again.
repair. Window, 3 hours.
You also, in the little cut videos in between, you meet and get to know some of the other characters and your fellow MechWarriors in the unit stuff, which is why I try not to talk over those. So, except for during the missions in Mech Lab, I will be keeping the talking to a minimum so the videos can get played. The end of these ones coming out of them really don't have much, it's just chatter on comms. Your salvage in this is basically hard-coded. It doesn't really matter what you do or kill, at least from what I've seen so far that I can remember. So, I have to wait until I get the weapons I'm looking for, until I can get the loadout I want on my Uziel, which I might actually have a better mech by the time I get that.
Good work out there. Keep it up. I talked with Colonel Sharp. He said you were blooded against the clans. Guess that means you've seen heavy action.
I saw my share.
That's good. Because what we've run up against so far is minor compared to what we'll find down in Kentares. And that's straight from the Colonel. I just didn't want you to thinking it was always going to be this easy.
I figured.
Maybe we'll live through this.
Young Dresari, just so you know, I have adapted the gear you brought in as salvage for use with our mechs.
Good work.
It's nice equipment. Steiner shops well. Once we get planetside, there will be more, and more need of it.
Hey, Ian.
Hey.
I was surfing the airwaves and thought you might enjoy this. Sounds like some kindred spirits down on Kentares.
This is the voice of freedom. The oppression of the illegal Steiner occupation force does not go unchecked. Across our planet, small patriots are struggling to overthrow the Steiner tyrants and their puppet billionaires. Do not be fooled by Steiner's propaganda. Their claim claims that yesterday's communications interruption was the result of an inconvenient mechanical failure are lies. Military and defense networks were neutralized by one of the many resistance rising and Steiner. Take heart, loyal citizen. Enemy invaders on our soil are not as powerful as they would have us believe.
Alright, so there's a little bit of what's going on. It adds more and more as it goes. As they alluded to, they mentioned him fighting in the clan wars and stuff. In the canon of the game, the Dresaris, including Ian, are known characters in the canon. They weren't created just for this game. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. Him and his father both separately fought in Operation Bulldog and Task Force Serpent along with Prince Victor. So they are very, very loyal to him. They're also very experienced. His father was just caught in the assault and killed. He was not in a battle mech. He was trying to protect his family and everything else in the throne room and the castle. So. His uncle here, who you have here on comms and everything, is also a veteran. He's in the 4th Davion Guards, also a veteran of the Clan Wars. That's why you see so much clan stuff in use in the opening stages of this game, is you're basically just having come back from fighting the clans with salvaged, captured clan equipment, and then as you go, you're getting salvage from House Steiner, some of it being their clan stuff, some of it being their own and native produced things, so you have some variety in what's available. This game being what it is, as I said, I'm not a huge fan of the clans, but in this game, their equipment is just so much better that you'll see me using a lot of it. There are clans I do like. I'm not anti-clan. It's just a lot of them I'm not a big fan. I tend to prefer the game before they came into it. But everybody has their preference in games.
If the dropship powers up, it'll bring its main guns online. That's the first one. 2 more to go. One more left. That's the last APU.
The joys of being able to zoom in and snipe makes it so much easier in some of these missions. Your mech warriors, when you do start being able to outfit your lance, do have their own skills, much like the HBS game. You, however, don't select what they get better at or specialties, unlike that game. They just kind of learn by what goes on in the missions and kind of dynamically progress. Like, some of them are very good on sensors, some of them are very good with gunnery or piloting. They fall over less, they can climb hills better and things like that. It's very dynamic in that sense. Much like the HBS game, every time you play through this, depending on what you do, as long as you don't, play the exact same way every time, things can go very differently based on what you do with your pilots and decisions you make. So. Machine guns aren't really useful, however, with so much little stuff and so few weapons being available on these mechs, you'll see me run them on my lights and mediums. When I start getting into the heavies, you'll see them a lot less. I will also say, I mentioned during the HBS thing how much I love MechWarrior 3. This, I hate the weapons fire and everything else in this. I don't like the effects, the sound effects, the visual, any of it. I think it is way too, I'll say late 90s, early 2000s video gamey. It looks too much, it almost looks like a PlayStation game. Whereas the MechWarrior 3 is much more cinematic, and at least in my opinion, much closer to how it's described in, like, the novels and things. But, the games are what they are, so you work with what you got. Right now I'm trying to take out... nothing is a huge danger in this. I mean, you can go through without taking any of this stuff out and just get the drop ships, but I don't like getting shot, so I'm trying to take out the threats here as I progress through it, just so I'm not taking shots in the back and maybe somebody get lucky.
destroyed. Target destroyed.
Also, as I said in the HBS game, even in this, I'm not a huge fan of PPCs. However, the large lasers I want to get, I only have one available, and I don't want to be running one large laser and one PPC, so 2 PPCs it is for the time being. If I ever get to where I can do 2 large lasers and a pair of medium lasers on this, that's what I'll be going with, unless I end up with a better mech before then. But for now, it is what it is. Got to work with what I got. I don't remember if these things actually do power up and start shooting at you if you take too long. I never give them the chance. I just go through this as quickly and efficiently as I can just to get it done. This whole first theater of the campaign, this whole video, this is the entirety of it. It's like 40 minutes of playtime. It's the later stuff that takes longer. You have much... the opposition scales as you go. The objectives get more complex, things like that. Also, these Osiris's, if you don't recognize these are also a brand new mech for this time period that the Steiners are running. It is a light mech armed with mostly beam weaponry and an SRM rack and I think a machine gun. I never use them, I just strip them out to add the weapons to my stock. They're, as you see, they're not a lot of use. They're very, very easy to knock out, not very heavily armed. They are fast, and I believe they have ECM, but other than that, there's nothing special about them. Trying to take out the stuff that's shooting my uncle in the back here, so he doesn't got to worry about it.
Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
And we're now down to where all we have left to get is the dropship and the APUs. Just like in the HBS game, taking out the APUs damages the dropship they're hooked up to. Same kind of idea, so. I didn't notice the gantry was in the way on that. Wasted a couple of PPC shots. You also won't see me torso twist much in this. I find it very annoying. Yeah, that wasn't smart. I tend to do them almost more like a fighter plane. I try to just keep targets in front of me and shoot at them. Torso twist gets annoying and distracting unless you need to do it to take out a target, so I don't do it a lot. You tend to run into and run over things when you're in a fight when you're torso twisted, not watching where you're going, so I try not to do it all that much.
Omega forward. Stand by for security patrols on arrival salvage. Control out.
With those dropships destroyed, Steiner won't be able to effectively counter our attacks on Kentares. This was a tough mission, Ian. It was an honor to fight by your side.
Hellspawn I also don't use much myself, but I will put my lance mates in it. It's not a useless mech, it's just not one of my favorites.
Yeah. Nice moves out there today, Ian. I guess Steiner forces will be doing a lot of walking now, right? Anyway, welcome to the team. Since we're going to be fighting together, there's something that I have to tell you. I can juggle. Once you're a Duke, will you be accepting auditions for Court Jester?
I'll keep you in mind, Casey.
I do look good in one of those funny hat things. Think it over.
Ian, we intercepted an important communication. I wanted you to see it. This is the face of our enemy, Lord Marcus Roland, the planetary governor appointed by Archon Catherine. We intercepted this message about an hour ago.
I've already assembled the text, but I will not send up this dropship without a military presence. I don't think it's a technical problem we're facing.
Don't think, Major. Just do it.
Next is Major Vanda Castro, Roland's adjutant. We don't know much about her yet. Castro was apparently appointed to Roland's staff only a few months ago. I can tell you this, she's dangerous.
I've seen the reports. Organized resistance has steadily increased since our occupation, not diminished. We have to consider the possibility that communications were cut off in preparation for additional strikes.
You can't seriously believe that our resources on the moon are in any danger. Scattered thefts?
and minor acts of sabotage are hardly organized resistance.
Just call one of your attack dogs and have a lance released to my authority.
Very well. I'll pass your request down to Burke and Culin. Perhaps one of them is in a charitable mood.
Interesting transmission. Apparently Roland and Castro are not working together very well. We may be able to exploit that. The intercept also gives us a new deadline. Steiner has an additional dropship somewhere. If Castro gets troops, she can have them here in a matter of hours. We need to secure our supplies and move the operation to Kentares 4 ahead of schedule.
So, what's the plan?
Well, I'll take Gonzalez and lift off in dropship 1 and see if I can slow down Castro. I'm giving you Casey and Jen MechWarrior, who's one of our best. You take the supplies in dropship 2 and establish a beachhead in the Arctic. Elise Rathburn, my tactical officer, will go with you. She's the brains behind this operation, Ian, so rely on her for your operational planning. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. You've proven yourself an able mech pilot and gunner with a solid grasp of tactics. Now you get a chance to test your resolve. I've ordered support personnel to begin loading up our ship as quickly as possible and prep for liftoff. However, it will take some time before we're ready to get underway. If Castro is able to get a drop ship and troops, she'll have located us already. So far, scans are negative, but she may have set down some distance away. We should be prepared to repel an inbound enemy lance at any time. If you can handle defending the ship until we power up, I'll see to the final preparations for departure. Rathburn out.
Last part of this portion of the thing.
Yeah.
The end of this one is where I'd stop, so didn't want to get too far ahead while I was trying to get it working.
We're ready for lift. You need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're tracking multiple targets inbound.
We've got him on radar control. Moving to intercept.
Roger, Omega 1. Remember, protect the dropship APUs, or we're dead on the ground.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep them off you.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons systems.
What basically ended up kept happening was I would start the video recording thing. It would supposedly be working. I'd get in and run all this like I am now, log out, go to do something with the video, and surprise, the video hadn't recorded properly or was corrupted.
Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
In this one, the vehicles are more the threat because they're what's going for what you're trying to protect. The mechs are going for the other mechs, so I gotta take these vehicles out before I worry about the enemy battle mechs. Be nice if it would give us fire support, but that's too much to ask, I guess. Nice thing with the Uziel is when you're up against a building or other obstacle like that, with the missile rack and the machine guns are very high up on the torso, so they tend to not hit what your obstructions are. Your arms, on the other hand, are a different matter. Also in this game, I don't know if you noticed, you can see looking down, this is not set up the way Battletech normally is. When you destroy a side torso, it does not disable the arm that is attached to it. So you've got to start with the arms and work your way in if you're trying to strip the weapons off of something that's a threat. You can't just take out the torso and take out the arm in the process, which is annoying, especially if you're used to basically every other MechWarrior and Battletech game besides this, but it's what it is. Laser arm gun. Also, it's very annoying in this game, you'll notice as I go through, anytime anything blows up around you, it does not matter where or what it is, your torso twists all the way to the left. It can be on your left, and you will twist toward it from the blast of the explosion, which is very freaking annoying. There we go, we're done with this. So the end of this one, I'll just let it go out here. It'll be the end of this. I will start the next one, get it recorded, get it up. Thanks for watching, and I hope y'all enjoy this new game series I'm going to be running. Have a good one. If you get a chance, please give a like and subscribe. Helps me out greatly. Shows up on more people's searches, things like that.